There are very few games I've experienced like Solar Ash, and having traversed the gaming landscape for 20 years, I thought I'd tried it all, and yet, I'd never played anything quite like Solar Ash. It's a stylistic, attentive, and all-around enjoyable experience that you're not going to have to spend dozens of hours on to feel rewarded. I'm gonna cut the bullshit and get right into it as we embark on the exploration of what makes Solar Ash a must-play, uncovering its remarkable strengths and the occasional missteps. Released on December 2nd, 2021 by the talented team at Heart Machine, this adventure platforming game introduced us to Ray, a Void Runner on a mission to save her world from the impending doom in what's known as the Ultra Void. This journey culminates in an ending that has a lot more impact than I was expecting. But I'm not going to discuss that any further as I keep all footage and content of the videos spoiler free as to ensure the magic of the game for you casual viewers. And there's a lot to like about Solar Ash for the casual viewers. For starters, the style. Now, it's impossible to have a review of Solar Ash without discussing the stylistic nature of the game. It's fresh and fun, unlike anything I'd really ever played. A game's style is its DNA, and Heart Machine knew what their DNA was. As you can see from the gameplay, they offer something totally unique. It all starts with the scenery. Full of bright blues and purples, scenery is an integral part of why this game is a must-play. Every one of the 6 zones in this game has offered a diverse selection of landscapes. Ranging from lands of clouds to barren stretches of desert, Solar Ash always keeps the scenery fresh. Rarely did I ever find myself confused as to which zone I was in or where an objective was in another zone, and it's because this is one of the most impressive elements of Solar Ash, the diversity of environments. However, these bold playgrounds are nothing without a way to traverse them. Lucky for us casuals, Solar Ash delivers. Skating is your go-to method of traversal in this game. At first, I found this choice to be a little strange. Why not just have a sprint like every other game? While I was a hater at first, it quickly grew on me as I realized the zones were built from the ground up with this skating in mind. You dance from zone to zone with ease, making the journey just as fun as the destination. This parkour skating strangely works and actually starts to feel incredibly fluid once you can master the general movements. Gliding from platform to platform feels graceful and rewarding. Ray's elegant and fast-paced character movement creates a unique sense of momentum and freedom as you navigate this world. It's really quite satisfying. It's important to note that at its core, Solar Ash is a platformer. As such, any casual viewer should be aware that much of the gameplay is based around this. Progression in this game is 100% about platforming on floating rocks and grinding rails. Advancing through zones is integrally tied to your ability to jump, dash, and skate. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's actually one of the strongest parts of Solar Ash. Difficulty will slightly affect this as well, more on that later though. In addition to the platforming, Solar Ash features the occasional combat encounter. Combat in Solar Ash is the furthest thing from complex though. It is very easy to pick up, and after the first few encounters with a new enemy, you'll pretty much know exactly how to defeat them. I found it quite approachable and honestly another great aspect of the game. If anything, the grunt enemies in this game feel more like something to avoid than something you really need to kill. So while it's not a huge part of the game, it is a nice addition that adds an element of unpredictability to your run-throughs. But again, platforming is really where you spend the bulk of your time. Even in boss fights, you will find yourself using your platforming abilities to take down your foes. Speaking of boss fights, they're very interesting in Solar Ash. They ditch the health bar you have come to expect from most games. Instead, you must focus on your movement to succeed. Fighting bosses is much simpler in Solar Ash than almost any other game I can think of. That's not bad though. These boss battles are not traditional in the sense of defeating enemies through brute force. They're more akin to puzzle platforming challenges where you need to figure out the boss's parkour path and the timing of it. It's an experience that lacks a lot of the bells and whistles, but I still found to be so much fun, especially as every boss fight gets crazier scenery and more complex routes, so it never feels stale. These fights all take place in these notable areas that provide a sense of scale that was unexpected for a small game like this. Moreover, Solar Ash encourages exploration of the worlds you fight in. Within the game world, you'll discover hidden paths, secrets, and collectibles that are called Void Caches. These caches were found in each of the zones, normally tucked away through some sort of hidden puzzle or platforming. Once the caches had been found, inside was a piece to a new suit for Ray. These suits offered unique advantages for your playthrough. Abilities such as a better dash or reduced cooldowns are things that you could come to expect from equipping them. Overall, it's a cool mechanic, but it doesn't really change much of the core experience. Other collectibles include lore fragments that provided insight into the game's story and world, furthering your understanding of what exactly is going on. While these collectibles aren't huge to the game, they provide an enjoyable side quest of sorts. See, Solar Ash has a great mixture of stunning visuals and interesting gameplay mechanics. New mechanics are revealed just often enough to keep you interested, but not so often that you feel like there's too much to learn. When you take that great stuff and pair it with an almost killer story, you have a great thing going. This game's story really does save the best for last, but that is a double-edged sword. For all the good in Solar Ash, it does have some shortcomings. While the story itself sticks the landing, the real issue I have with it is its length and pacing of the story. This game's story is a slow burn. It doesn't explain the stakes in a way that really makes me care about the story in a way I wanted to with how good this gameplay was. I wanted to feel super invested in the story, and until the end, I really didn't care what was going on. I found myself much more interested in the scenery and satisfying movement, which is unfortunate because the premise itself is so bold. While it does get there eventually, it sure does take some time. Additionally, the total length of this game is only about 6 hours. I 100%ed the entire game in 5.5 hours. This includes seeing all of the side characters and collecting every single suit. There simply isn't a ton of depth. The game length wouldn't have been bad if it wasn't for the price tag. This is where my biggest gripe comes in. Price. Solar Ash retails for $40. A AAA game? This would be a bargain price. But for this small indie game, well, it left me desiring more if I'm being completely honest. I loved so much about this game, but I don't feel it's worth the whole $40 they're asking for. I believe this game is worth about $25. The experience you get is high quality, and you can tell Heart Machine put a ton of effort into everything that's here. It's just the story is not long enough to boast a $40 price tag. With this price tag comes near zero replayability. I played through the entire game at my leisure and managed to complete everything the game had to offer in under 6 hours. I even did so on the second highest difficulty. This brings me to the final shortcoming I feel that Solar Ash has. The difficulties of this game are basically smoke and mirrors. Most games have the difficulty affecting a wide variety of abilities, health, and enemies. In Solar Ash, all that changes with difficulty is a timer that decides how fast you must be when completing platforming puzzles. Not a huge deal for a casual, but I would have liked to see a little bit more variety in the difficulties. Even with its lows, Solar Ash delivers a great game that is unique, fun, and frankly, a must-try for a casual gamer. If you're new to the platforming genre, I think Solar Ash is a fantastic place to start, especially considering it's available on almost any platform. Platform availability for Solar Ash includes PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Series X, Switch, and what I personally played on, PC. So whether you're a PlayStation casual or an Xbox weekender, you'll be able to try this game on whatever platform you fancy. With the vibrant and detailed environments, satisfying movement, and overall stylistic experience, Solar Ash is definitely a hidden gem. Temper your expectations going in, don't hope for a grandiose deep story. Solar Ash has a great story, but it's short. But if you're looking for a fun gaming experience that won't take you too long to play, definitely pick it up on a sale. Even more, some of you may find that the $40 price tag is fair for what you get. It is incredibly high quality, but in my personal opinion, just not worth the full $40. Overall, Solar Ash's gameplay is a harmonious blend of fluid movement and satisfying platforming. It offers a unique and approachable experience that stands out in the realm of platformers, making it a must-play for gamers who are looking to try something new. Solar Ash is a fantastic one-time experience that is definitely worth it if you can find it on sale. Thanks for watching, keep it casual.